Hello guys, I am Papagino. I have a couple of battles for you to take a look at today. These are all of course from tournament battles as usual. And let's just see what's happening here. We have this one. This was an interesting one. Many splinters available, almost all of them, except for the dragon one was unavailable. 55 mana cap, and a couple of interesting rules and rage. So pretty useful, perhaps to have some strong melee attackers there in a sense, and also the reverse speed, so slow units are rewarded, which is a little bit in conflict with enrage. So it's a little bit tricky there to strike the right balance. And of course, this was a game that could have gone very many different ways because this was a wild battle. It was, I forgot to mention, but I think you can quickly uh, scan the lineups here and understand that this is not a modern battle from all of these old units. So because it's wild, there's a wide range of possible summoners and strategies to go for. And it's really a roll of the dice. Sometimes these battles are very tricky. Anything can happen, but I went for this very solid approach that I like just because magic is so important in the meta. I like to often use when I can this summoner, Immortalis, very strong summoner, very solid, good all rounder. I think it can be a little bit brittle if the opponent elects not to use magic, but they often use the magic is the thing. So it's a good summoner, very good, I think, especially when you couple it with units like our tank here, Mantarot, that have shield. He's basically gonna take reduced damage from any source of damage at the front there. So that's a very nice synergy that exists there. So I really like to go for this if possible. But could have done very many different things, and my opponent also went for Tofu. No surprises, very strong summoner as well, but could have chosen very many others as well, of course. Now the thing here is, this wasn't too difficult a win in a way because my opponent didn't choose the best units all around. I think I don't understand this. My Cynic infantry, for instance, in the back, it doesn't get to attack or anything, so it's a waste of a slot really for the most part. And EZR is very strong, of course. The Psychic, very useful card and all. The tank in the front, I can understand all that, but this one doesn't seem to quite make sense. And the Mana Warden, it's a tricky card to use effectively. It gives shield to the guy in the front here, but doesn't get to attack himself, so suboptimal in some ways. And the Legionnaire here, it's a decent card, but maybe there could have been something better there for 8 mana. So it's a bit of a weird lineup, some strong cards, but also some weird cards by my opponents. Overall, I think this win was a little bit on the easy side for me, but I still want to highlight this nice couple of summoner and tank, really effective. And then it's the same thing really for the Mycelic Slip Spawn, the taunt monster in the back here. He also soaks up a lot of damage. Maybe I could have even gone for some triage strategy, try to keep this guy alive as well. Because of the void, it takes significantly less damage. But in spite of my opponent's iffy, let's say, lineup and choices, it was still required to get over some humps here in order to win, to get the win. So let's see what happened here exactly. And let's also take a look at the battle tactics my opponent chose here. I gave the shield to easier, makes a lot of sense, and the tank at the front, and then the Mana Warden, but it's not a very important card. Maybe, I don't know if it would have made a difference, maybe to the healer in the back to make him a little bit more secure or something, but whatever. Let's see how the battle goes. So you can see already this is very important. Sadly, this attack from the Sandworm was a little bit wasted there. He has 5 attack, but this guy had 6 armor, so it would have been better for some other attacker to go first because of the shatter. So I could have done some more work there against this tank at the front, but of course I get the thorns effect of my Sandworm, which enrages him but also damages him, so it's a little bit tricky there, but we'll see this Sandworm definitely put in some more work throughout the battle. Mantarot on the other end doesn't really care too much about the Thorn effect just because he has shield, so it takes 1 less damage from the Thorns, so it's still a quite solid unit at the front, even against Tofu. And the enemy's taunter, or sorry, yeah, the taunter goes down, and then very importantly, the Sandworm after the second attack survives with 1 more health. If the opponent had Amplify, for instance, the Sandworm would have been dead by now, very important, but he survives and he gets to attack once more for 8 damage, so that's very meaningful for me and really speeds up the process of taking down the opponent. Otherwise it might have been difficult against EZR, very strong card there, but this was a nice job overall of just being solid against Tofu here, which is a very tricky summoner to defeat, as we know. And I got the win in the end, very nice. And then this other battle, let me change the tab here. Okay, your guild is fight and roll. I've already done all that, so we can dismiss it. This was another interesting win from the same tournament. And, well, you can see the lineup. But importantly, well, we had lost legendaries. That's not too important. And Thorns might be meaningful in some matches, but in this case we mostly decided to go for magic. But more significantly, we only had 80 mana and there was the weak magic effect. So it was really important to pick the right units here. And whenever there's a rule or something that interacts with magic, because magic is so strong, when you change around how that effect works, how those attacks work, you get some really unique battles most of the time anyway. And well, of course you can see the available splinters. So my opponent here, perhaps somewhat predictably, chose to go full Ulrich. He has this nice gold skin for the summoner, but it's the same as the basic summoner, the one that gives +1 magic, so no surprises there. That's a very strong summoner in Wild. I could have also gone for that. I could have done a few different things, but I chose to go because the Dragon Splinter was available for Sheng Xiao. This is a nice, tricky summoner. I don't like the element of luck, the element of RNG, very heavy RNG summoner, of course, but I still think, I'm only using the tools that the designers of the game give me, so what can you do there? If they give me an RNG card, I'm gonna use it sometimes when I think it's good, and it was definitely the case here. It was an 18 mana battle, so I was a little bit hesitant to pick this summoner for 5 mana because there wasn't much space for the rest of my lineup, but I think I made the right choices. Of course, there's the Halfling Refugee at the front just to soak up some damage. And then at the back, the second position, the Abyssal Elemental, I think is the name of this guy. And basically it has this cheeky strategy where you give Poison Burst, the tactic from Shang Xiao, to the Elemental, and then when he dies, it will poison some, depending on your luck, of the units of the opponent. And then when he gets revived, there's a chance he will poison some more. So it's a very nasty effect, very strong effect potentially. And then significantly, I was able to spend some more mana on this old card, very simple but effective card, Venari Waysmith, which really made a lot of sense here because of the weak magic. So I don't know, I guess it's tricky sometimes in these battles to think of all the properties of the single match and sort out your cards and think about the best ones, but my eyes definitely went to this guy, the Wavesmith, and it was definitely the right choice because of the rule set, but my opponent didn't consider that one. It went for a wider sort of approach with the Noxian Rebel and the weapons trading for the magic to sort of get the most out of the summoner there. It really went all out on the magic attacks, but we'll see. Magic wasn't good enough against all my armor and stuff, and more than that, my summoner really paid out in a big way here. But I think even without all the luck perhaps I've been blessed with in this match, maybe I could have still come out on top even. But let's see exactly what happens. So of course I choose to give the Poison Burst effect to the Elemental here. Makes sense, that's the old combo, the old strategy there. And then the second unit I picked is the one as the front. Nothing too surprising there. You can see all the enemy units are attacking for 2 magic damage, so that's very scary. But because of the armor and the weak magic and all that, I can withstand some heavy hits here. So let's see what happens. So you see, basically, this was very unlucky for my opponent. This Creeping Ooze with the magic attack killed my unit there. And I was really lucky here to poison him, but also, and this is the lucky element of the summoner, if we can bring out the ability here, Poison Burst, there's a 50% chance to apply poison, not only to the unit that kills my guy, but also the other 2 on the sides, the adjacent units. So I was really lucky there because it applied to both of them, and more significantly, I was lucky the poison landed on this guy, the Scion, Tanalorian Scion. And the whole thing with this guy is that he has 1 health but a lot of void armor, but the poison goes through that. So this was by chance, because I didn't plan for this, but this was a very effective, extremely deadly counter to it all. And then on top of that, the poison also went on this guy. So this was all over for this guy before it even started. We can watch the battle unfold a little bit more. So you see, just in 1 round, I took out almost all of its units, and this guy didn't even get killed once. So the old strategy with the poison there didn't even come into play, because by the time this guy got to the front, all his units were dead already. And now this very nifty guy for 1 mana and the scavenger, it's a little bit of a greedy strategy, but it would have been very tough to take him down as well, because by the time I would have made to him, he would be in a very healthy place. He would have absorbed a lot of health. So this was perhaps overkill because he was already doomed, my opponent, at this point. But even without all the luck in the world, I think my lineup was solid, and I might have had a good chance of taking him down anyway. So let's see very quickly how it ends, but it's pretty straightforward. There's no hope for him at that point because, yeah, he gets poisoned and that's it pretty much. So, a couple of interesting battles there. Little bit of luck. My opponents maybe didn't choose the perfect thing there, but as I said, in these wild matches, it's anything can happen pretty much. There's so many choices these days in terms of summoners and strategies, so you can never pick the correct one, but you can try and hedge your bets a little bit. Anyway, this was a nice tournament. Let's see the final standings because it's finished now. I finished with a score of 13 wins, 8 losses, so not the best score in the world, but enough to afford me some nice rewards. By the end of it, I got 96 SPS, so that's pretty nice. This season, I definitely splurged a little bit on the wild rentals for this tournament. I ended up almost spending 1,000 DC. It was perhaps something around 800 DC or something like that. I didn't keep a precise count, but that was the figure more or less. But the SPS I got more than makes up for it, and this was just one of the wild tournaments that there will be in this season. So if I can do just as well in the other one, I can get to make some nice profits because of these tournaments. Again, I love these tournaments. This is the only game mode, except for maybe brawls. Those are nice too, but these are really the only modes of play that I really like these days. I don't like ranked. I talked a lot about why I don't like ranked these days, but whatever. Let's also take a final look, a little update. Let's see. I also got to can perhaps see it better from the market window. I also got to buy this nice card, Death Ranger. It's for the Death Splinter, but it's basically a reward card. I just I don't know, I started a bit late during Rebellion. Didn't play throughout most of it for months, so I neglected all these nice reward cards. I'm still missing some of the legendaries, but this one guy was really, if we can get rid of these other things, this was really the guy that was missing for me. Let's see, we can remove the filter there. So you can see I got most of them. I tried my luck yesterday. I got a Gallicus, which was one I was missing technically, so nice little bit of luck there, but I was really fishing for the Death Ranger, really, so I didn't get it. What I ended up doing is I saw a copy that was going for $10 only. In my mind, that's a deal for this card, so I was able to very quickly buy it. Just made a purchase for it. Didn't go through peak monsters or anything like that. Nothing automated. I just saw the copy and decided to buy it. Thankfully, no one saw it before me, so I felt quite lucky there. You can see it's already going for $14. So I bought it for 10. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. We'll see what happens to the prices of these cards once we'll get new unlocking prices for these reward cards once we get the next reward set. But for now, these are the prices. You can see this is really top of the pack in terms of price, in terms of value, and it's entirely justified. This is a very strong card. It's a little bit nuanced, a little bit underrated, I think, but it's definitely worth the price because basically you get into this in many situations really, but whenever there's some option for the opponent to go for magic, basically, and maybe the mana cap is not too high, something in the low to medium range perhaps, this is a very mana effective card because for only 4 mana, you basically get a shield that absorbs up to 10 magic damage, so that's extremely valuable. I've actually lost some nice tournament matches against other users that had Lorcus, stuff like that, because this is a very mana effective card, very useful. Some people just put it in the first position, they don't even care about the ranged attack there. It's just a matter of soaking up damage and let the units in the back do the work there. So extremely valuable card, extremely valuable. I thought at first the most exciting card from the set of reward cards for the legendary rarity was the Ember Guard, and I still use it. It's definitely a nice card, it has a nice synergy with Lorcus, but the one that really stands out are the Death Ranger for sure, for this reason, and then it's a matter of a few things, but it's really the Chaos Battle Mage. Actually, I also in the beginning, I wasn't evaluating this card too high, but I'm really using it a fair amount of the time just because it's a neutral and has piercing and a very good damage, very good stats in general. So these two, the Battle Mage and the Death Ranger, these two ranged cards are very nice, very useful to have for sure. So I'm happy I got them. I feel ready in a way moving forward with the next set of reward cards now, so I don't have to gamble all my glint and stuff in the hope of getting the exact right one that I need. I'm also noticing, let's see, from the items window here, some of these cards, they don't appear at all on the market, right? Like, yeah, there's a few of these that are not being sold currently, so maybe there's some opportunities there to have these 2 copies of Grifsky, this little guy here. I use him sometimes. I'm not interested in playing in silver, and I'm missing 1 copy anyway, so I think I'll try and sell one of these guys at some point, but I need to unlock it first. Costs 10,000 DEC, so technically I could get the money and try and unlock it and sell it and go for a little bit of a profit there, especially since it's not on the market at all. It doesn't appear to be on the market currently. Maybe I'll do that at some point. I'll try and sell him, but I'm not sure if it's best to do it now or wait for the new unlock costs to come around. I'm not really sure how that works and how that will influence the prices. I guess most people are trying to wait and see, have the same sort of strategy around these prices, but that's an option too. That's something I'm also looking forward to do in the next few weeks, because I think it's a matter of days or perhaps a couple of weeks at most. So definitely some exciting times to be playing Splinterlands.